Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods over here for tonight. Man, I'm worn out, man. I've been actually up and down ladders all day, working on changing some siding, trying to make my wife a happy wife. You know what I always say? I think a happy wife is like finding a unicorn. Nope, no disrespect, ladies. Miss Jackie, don't yell at me. I'm just saying, y'all women, you know you're sometimes a little hard to satisfy. We try hard, but you keep us on our toes. Okay, so we know I am a Dak Prescott fan. I believe in him. I believe a guy who's led us to 32 victories in the first 3 years and stayed healthy and on the field. I think he's you know, worth some money. I think he's a good quarterback. I think that he has leadership skills. He has things to work on, like every quarterback out there. But, it's amazing because I keep hearing the same thing that, overpaid. Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott are going to be overpaid. Okay, well, let me give you guys an example. When my buddy Cowboy Crunk was here, he was telling me about this house in Houston that they're looking at. 7,000 square foot house, swimming pool in the backyard, 4-car garage, hardwood floors, marble and a freaking mansion. And I think he said it was about $450,000, $500,000. Wow. You take that house, you put it in Arlington or Fairfax County, Virginia, that's a couple of $1 million. It's the same house, but that's what the market will bear. You couldn't sell it for $2 million in Houston, but you put it in the right location. You look at that and say, but it's only a couple $100,000 in materials in that thing. But that's what it costs. And you can't go to Arlington and say, oh, well, that house only costs $200,000 to build. I'm only going to pay $500,000 for it. They'll say, see ya. Because that's what the market is. It just is. Understand that it's supply and demand. Everybody's demanding to have a quarterback. There's not a lot of supply. It means the price goes up. It's to the point now where $20 million is the going rate for any quarterback and up. Any starter is $20 million. Hell, backups, some of them are getting that kind of money. It's just the way it is. But it's amazing because some of the comments that you hear from some of the people out there, I'm not sure if they're just Cowboy haters or what the deal may be, but you hear things like, screw paying Dak, let's just play Cooper Rush. I'm good with that. Dak Prescott's just a bus driver, man. Don't overpay that guy. Just draft another quarterback. Oh, why didn't we think of that? Because we've had so much success drafting quarterbacks in the past, haven't we? What happened after Troy Aikman? Do I need to go through all the names of all the quarterbacks that we went through? Yeah. I'll save you that torture. But we're going to play a little game of what if. For everybody who says, just go draft another quarterback. What if we turn back the hands of time? Back to 2016. Back where we drafted Dak Prescott as a backup plan. Because they really wanted to get Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch, who Denver drafted, and Denver, which is quarterback needy, they have gone through how many quarterbacks? And now finally said, what the heck, we'll go trade for Joe Flacco. Huh. Because their thing was, we'll just draft another quarterback. Because they keep drafting them. But don't have much luck. But we were trying to trade with Seattle to move up to take Paxton Lynch. And I don't know if you know the details of this, because at the time, here's the headlines right after the draft. Here's how the Cowboys lost out on Paxton Lynch as their future quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys badly wanted Paxton Lynch as their heir apparent to Tony Romo, but not so bad that Jerry Jones would give up more picks in the trade. And now he's going to live with that regret. You know what I always say about the experts out there? Oh my God, you got to get Paxton Lynch. He was rated as one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, as well as some other guys. Dak, maybe if you need a backup. But here's what they had originally offered to Seattle. The 2nd round pick and the 4th round. 4th round pick, the first one we used for Charles Tapper. Okay. Charles Tapper never did much for us. But do you know who we used the 2nd round pick for? Jaylon Smith. Let that sink in for a second. What if... Now here's the thing that gets crazy, because Seattle was also negotiating with Denver. They wanted to get a 3rd round pick. You know, Seattle, they're always greedy, which would have been Malik Collins and Jaylon Smith. So Jerry Jones said after the fact, if I had it to do over again, I would have given up that 3rd round pick. So think about this. Let's say that had happened. We drafted Paxton Lynch, figuring he's going to be able to learn behind Tony Romo. Kellen Moore gets hurt. Tony Romo gets hurt. Paxton Lynch starts playing. Yeah, Paxton Lynch, who couldn't hold a starting position in the AAF. Let that sink in for a second. So not only then, in 2017, would we have been looking for a quarterback, we also wouldn't have Malik Collins and Jaylon Smith. 3 starters on our team. And I'll say, right now, 2 of the main starters. Dak Prescott, don't have a quarterback, you're screwed. Jaylon Smith, the Predator. So, all you that hate Dak Prescott, think that he's just a game manager, a guy who's really not that good, don't overpay him. You know what? Just draft another quarterback. You can just get anybody to do what he's doing. You sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because quarterbacks don't grow on trees. I want to show you guys a little number, okay? We all know that Russell Wilson, if you average out contracts, Russell Wilson, 35. Big Ben, 34. Aaron frickin' Rodgers, 33.5. Matty Ice, $30 million, okay? That is, and then Kirk Cousins, 28. And that is to the life of the contract. They average it out to say that's what it is, compensation each year. But understand, what you actually do is there's ways that you can manipulate that money so you don't have a big hit, 1 year or another year. You can choose to try and take all the guaranteed money early, so that way 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you're not strung with it. Or if you're kind of cash strapped, you can kind of go ahead and give a big guarantee money prorated over the life of the contract, and then say, we're only going to pay you $1 million this year because we just gave you a check for $40 million. So you're actually getting $41 million this year, but on the cap, it might only be 11. See what I'm saying here? But here's what's interesting, because I want you to think about this as we start talking about Dak Prescott and what the deal will average out to be. This is salary compensation of what the cap hit is for quarterbacks just for 2019. This is not average salary. This is for this year. Highest paid this season, salary cap value, is Matthew Stafford at 29.5. Matthew Stafford, I didn't remember anybody saying that don't overpay that guy, because that guy's never won a playoff game. But go ahead, we'll go on. Then we have Kirk Cousins, a guy who's lost to Dak Prescott 4 times. Never beat him. At 29. Andrew Luck, 27.5. Tom Terrific, $27 million. Now see, that's one of those things that people keep saying that, oh, well, Tom Brady, he works for less. No, what they did is they just kicked the money down the road. And he's actually due for another restructuring or new contract. Aaron freaking Rodgers, actually his cap hit is only 26.5. Russell Wilson, who just signed his deal, they ended up backloading a lot of that. He's only 26.5. Big Ben, again, 26. Eli Manning at 23. Cam Newton, 23. Phillip Rivers at 23. And Phillip Rivers, well, he's about to get a new contract. Drew Brees, 22. Derek Carr, 22.5. Jameis Winston, 20. And he's due for a new contract. And Marcus Mariota is 20.9. And Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo. So you're seeing what these numbers look like. So basically, every starting quarterback is making like $20 million. And that may be overpriced, but here's the thing. It's what the market will bear. It's what the market is. And if you go back, here's an interesting one. Let me see if I can do this from here. Bam. Let's just go back in time a little bit. Let's go back to 2000. And let's take a look at 2000, the year 2000, at this compensation. Peyton Manning, $6.6 million. Troy Aikman, $5.9. Brett Favre, $3.6. Donovan McNabb, $2.2. Boom. For the sake of argument, let's go to 2005. Because what happens is the natural curve of things. And I'm sure at the time, after 5 years before, $6 million, 5 years before, $6 million was the top of the food chain. Now take a look. Over $6 million, Chad Pennington, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Carson Palmer, and Brett Favre at 10. Whereas 5 years before, it was $6 million per year. Now you're over 10. Okay. Let's go ahead for the sake of argument. Go to 2010. You see where I'm going with this, right? Just 5 years. From 2005, the highest one was 10.9. To now, Donovan McNabb, 24. Peyton Manning, 19. Alex Smith, 17. Tom Brady, 17. Brett Favre, 16. Matthew Stafford, 12. Tony Romo, 12. Drew Brees, 12. Look at all this. Look at the market. You got to go all the way down to get down to that $10 million. You got to go all the way down to Big Ben. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys. 14 quarterbacks were paid 5 years later higher than the highest in 2005. So let's go back one more time so you can kind of understand this. 5 years later, and the Washington Redskins were crazy to pay Donovan McNabb 24. Let's be honest here. 5 years later, you don't have the 24, but you look at how everybody is now basically, Sam Bradford was getting 12 from the Eagles. You see how everybody has jumped up. And of course, where we were right now. So from 2015 to 2019, we went from 23.8 to 35. So understand, if we pay Dak Prescott $30 million right now, 5 years from now, it's going to be over 40. And it's going to look like a bargain. So understand that it may seem like a lot now because you're looking at it in today's dollars. The reality is you're paying him today. Tomorrow's dollars are going to be more. So that's why it works. And the fact that we have a quarterback, we are blessed because we could be a rudderless ship. We could have nobody right now at quarterback and be completely lost. And we'd also be missing Jaylon Smith. So count your blessings, guys. Whew. You know what? I'm kind of whooped. My neck's kind of stiff. I think I'm going to go to bed early tonight. I'm Mark Holmes, and thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. I'll see you soon.